Hello and welcome to the eSailGP Grand Final. I'm your host this week, Ed Leigh, and we have 8 of the world's best gamers battling it out for an incredible winner-takes-all prize. It's a trip to a real-life SailGP regatta, and once you get there, you get an on-water experience. Money cannot buy that. You also get 2 passes to the Adrenaline Lounge, plus whoever wins will take a qualification spot into the eSailing World Championships. There is a lot at stake. Now, if you're new to the world of eSailing, take a look at this guide. It will bring you up to speed.
For those of you who've been following the latest series of eSailGP and want to get involved yourselves, here's a breakdown of how it works. For the players, the drama begins even before they cross the start line, so they battle it out for starting positions. A countdown marks the moment the players can cross the start line. They can build up their speed, but if a boat crosses the line before the timer hits 0, they must return to the starting line and lose valuable time. From the start, it's out to the first mark before heading downwind to the bottom gate, followed by the long stretch heading upwind to the top gate. This stage is the most difficult part as the race is against the wind and strategy is key. They repeat this loop once more before the charge to the finish line. Players will be monitoring the speed and direction of the wind, and also on the lookout for darker patches of water, as this indicates a higher wind speed. The whole fleet will battle it out over 3 races, with 10 points for the winner, 9 for second, and so forth. The 2 players with the most points will go through to the match race. If players are tied on points after 3 races, the standings are decided by the results of the 3rd race. The match race is a winner-takes-all final. Cross the line first and you are the champion, earning your place with the rest of the finalists here at the eSailGP Grand Final. If you want to start practicing, download Virtual Regatta Inshore on the App Store or Google Play Store, and we could see you at next year's eSailGP Grand Final.
There you have it, everything you need to know about eSailing in a cut-out and keep guide. Now, joining me on today's broadcast is a member of the Japanese SailGP team, and he's almost as passionate about eSailing as he is about SailGP, Leo Takahashi. Leo, are you ready for the grand final?
I'm really excited. Look, I've been commentating the qualifiers as well, and look, it's going to be really interesting to see all the players, put it to the test. And what a prize! It's an awesome prize, and if I was them, I'd be gunning for that top prize.
Okay, every time we've spoken to you, you've been in a different location, obviously, because you've been chasing the SailGP season all over the planet. Where are you now?
I'm in Palma, Mallorca, actually, doing some cycling and having a bit of time off, visiting a few friends, and then got some sailing in Miami next week. So yeah, just having a bit of time off before that.
Okay, you mentioned earlier on that you've been commentating, you've been watching all of the regattas so far on the eSailGP Championship. Which of the names stand out to you when you look down the start list here?
Yeah, well, look, there's always the two British boats, Farle and Deja Vu. They've always been the front runners in most of the qualifiers. And then you have guys like, last qualifier, we had Parejo, who took the win, and then the Spanish GP. And then you got guys like Carmen Maslunka, who's been around the whole time, the last 2-3 years with the eSailGP and the eSailing as well. So he's definitely a front runner and a favorite. So, like some really good guys out there. And you can't forget the French team, Pepito as well, and Tangi. They're actually sanctioned by the French SailGP team, so they're a professional team, and like they've got a really good program there. So can't count them out. And that's already 5 good guys out of 8 there who could easily win the final. So it's going to be really tight, Ed.
I like that. You've covered absolutely everyone there. If I put the pressure on, who would you say? One single winner, who would you bet on today?
It's hard to say. I'm not much of a betting man, but like if I had to put the pressure on, I'd definitely, put my money on the current eSailing world champion, Deja Vu. He won this event last year, and he's been solid throughout the whole year. And look, I'm not sure. I don't want to take any favorites though.
Let's take a look at the format then. The grand final will consist of 3 regatta races, 8 boats vying for 3 spots in the match racing final. Now that mirrors the SailGP match racing finals. It used to be 2 boats, now it is 3 boats in the final. So that dynamic really changes. The 8 competitors that we're going to see out on the water are as follows. From the first race out in Bermuda, we saw the reigning eSailGP world champion qualify. It's Deja Vu. In Taranto, it was that big personality that Leo was talking about earlier, Khan Mazlumka. From Plymouth, MCES Pepito. Now, he is part of the official French eSailing team. So he's backed by the French SailGP team. No pressure on him whatsoever. In Aarhus, we saw Greece 9 LDLN qualify. And then in Saint-Tropez, it was VIT Farley who climbed to the top of the leaderboard. And then at the final qualifier just last week, we saw UOL Carlos Parejo book his place in these finals. And then we've got 2 wild cards. Now, these are 2 of the brightest under 21 talents. The first, MCES Tanguy, is the teammate of Pepito, so also an official member of the eSailGP team for France. And then we've got the other wild card, Rivo M Prodigio. 8 sailors, and those 2 young wild cards really looking to upset the apple cart. The big question, I imagine, for most of you is, without a SailGP Grand Final happening in this calendar year, where are we going to hold the eSailGP Grand Final? Well, we are going to mirror the SailGP Championship and take the final to the home of foiling, the Bay in San Francisco. This is one of the most consistently windy venues in SailGP, and I guarantee you this course will mirror that. It is time now for the first race of our eSailGP Grand Final. Let's get it underway. Okay, without further ado, let's get the first race underway. We have 8 boats out on the water. Just a quick reminder, they are the 6 winners from our previous SailGP regattas and the 2 highest ranked under 21 players. So you can see all of the boats in that start area. We've got a minute of pre-race now, where as they enter the box, they can start to line up and jockey for position. You can see the countdown. We're nearing the start now, and this is where things start to get very, very nervous. Have they calculated properly? And we have 2 penalties there for Prodigio and UOL Carlos. At the moment, though, it is MCES Pepito, the Frenchman, out in front around that first mark. And tucked him right behind him is Khan Mazlumka. Leo Takahashi, what do you make of that first leg?
Yeah, look, it was quite an interesting start actually. There was only 1 OCS, and that's the penalty for being over the starting line. And as I say that, the OCS Pepito, the French boat, who was first around the reach mark and probably had the best start leading the race, which is what we tend to see usually in these games. So it'll be interesting to see how the race goes, and it looks like the breeze is very stable at the moment, maybe a little bit more breeze to the right hand side. So this is what the gamers are going for now. They're heading towards the right hand side of the course to get more wind in the wind shift.
Everyone using right up to the boundary there to try and minimize the amount of maneuvers they're using.
Yeah, it's super important to go as less maneuvers. These maneuvers are very costly, and yeah, I guess as we see on screen, the pink boat here going all the way to the boundary, but if you go over the boundary, you get a penalty. So it's a very risky maneuver, but it all pays off in the end.
Okay, so sat out now with MCES Pepito, the leader out of France. One of the favourites to make the match race. We've got 3 regattas, and then it's a winner-takes-all match race. It mirrors exactly the format of the SailGP events. And you can see it's VIT Farley out inlet. Oh, he slipped back into second just behind Khan Mazlumka. And the Turk at the moment battling it out with Pepito and Farley in front. Oh, and a big cross there just behind for Pepito. And it's Mazlumka first around the buoy as they set off now on that downwind leg.
Yeah, that was a tight top mark. It was about five boats coming into each other at the same time, and you see MCS Pepito got copped a penalty there for clear head, clear stern at the top mark. He actually rammed into Farley there, so that would have been very costly for him. He was winning the race, and now he's fifth. So it shows you how important those top marks are and how staying out of trouble is not going to cost. And we see a close cross here at the bottom between the Turk and VIT Farley. And it looks like a penalty for Karmas Lunka, who was on, just couldn't drive in time, and he crashed into Farley. And we see now the two British boats out in front.
Okay, so Deja Vu and Farley out in front. Karmas Lunka taking that penalty, but MCS Pepito 100 meters back now. Farley making good ground at the moment. So Deja Vu in second. Farley looking very, very settled out in front. Looks like he's going to have right of way as well when the rest of the pack tacks back across him here.
Yeah, that's
I can
correct.
actually
Farley
see through the... Sorry, carry on.
And look how busy it is on this port boundary here. There's about 5 boats tacking on each other, and but look, Farley looks very comfortable. He's got one more tack to go, and he's going to be going down to the reach mark. But for the rest of the pack, Deja Vu, Pepito, Prodigio, Mazlunka, it's all on to fight for these second and third places, which is going to be very important in the long run. We've seen time to time in all the qualifiers that if you're consistent, you're going to be able to get into the final, and that's the same as for the real SailGP as well.
Okay, you can see the Golden Gate Bridge in the background now. We have mirrored every single regatta of the real SailGP season, and it's going to be the same here, but we're a little bit ahead of time. We've got the grand final in San Francisco about 4 months early, maybe a little more actually. But you can see Deja Vu in second here. Farley coming down to the finish line. He's on that 7th and final leg at 45 knots, 46 knots as he comes through the finish line. First place, fantastic start for Farley. Then we've got the reigning eSailGP champion, Deja Vu, in second place. Pink Prodigio to the line. And then it's GRE9, Karmas Lunka, MCES Tangi, one of the under 21 racers, and then Yoel Carlos bringing up the rear in 8th. So confirmation of those standings. It is VIT Farley in first position. Then we have Deja Vu in second, MCES Pepito in third, Rivo and Prodigio in fourth, GRE9 LN in fifth, and then Karmas Lunka, after such a breathtaking couple of legs there, he committed that penalty on the downwind tack coming through the mark and wasn't able to recover. So 6th place, and then MCES Tangi 32 in 7th position. Okay, Leo, pretty impressive first race there, and a lot of pressure now for anyone down in the sort of 5th to 8th positions in the second race.
Yeah, that's right, Ed. And look, it was a great start for Farley. He nailed that actually. You know, the first race is so important, just to make sure that you get off the mark and you can actually get a good result. And you know what they say in the sailing world is, you know, you can't win the regatta by the first race, but you can lose it. So it's important for these guys to get a top 3 score, and the next 2 races are going to be really interesting to see if they can make it to the final.
Now, quickly, before we get stuck into the second regatta, we're going to take a look at one of the key skills that you find on eSailGP, and that is mark rounding. And we're going to do it with the reigning eSailGP champion. It's Deja Vu.
Hi, I'm Mike O'Donovan. I'm the 2020 eSailGP champion. I'm here to take you through some tactics that players should know if they want to improve their tacks on the virtual waters. For any new players, tacking is a part of how we sail upwind, but it is also where we lose the most speed in the F50. The two most important rules to consider while tacking are the port starboard rule and the while tacking rule. The first dictates that a boat on starboard has right of way over a boat on port. In other words, it's the boat on port's responsibility to avoid the boat on starboard. How the second rule works in virtual regatta is there is a delay between finishing your tack and acquiring right of way. This is to prevent people just slamming through the tack and not giving the people to windward a chance to keep clear. This means you need to look before you tack and consider the boats around you. If you're on track to collide, you should consider the rules, and if you need to, take avoiding action to avoid getting a penalty. In a race, upwind tacking is where having a strategy can be key, and it can make or break your position in a race. Typically, you want to avoid doing too many turns. This is because the most direct run with the least tacks and jives is often the quickest way around the course. Planning out your tacks takes practice, and it's something you should be working out on the downwind leg. Compared to tacking, there isn't much to jibing in the F50. The downwind leg is all about getting to the best wind pressure and then planning your upwind leg. The more you can prepare for any eventuality, the better you can deal with it if that situation arises. It's important to remember that because the F50s are so fast, the wind shadow is always going to be behind them, even on a downwind leg. This means you need to consider if the boats in front of you are giving you dirty air rather than the ones behind you. Keeping in mind you want to avoid the dirty air as it will slow you down. When it comes down to a match race, you need to be careful not to do too many tacks. The more tacks you do, the more ground you lose, and the more chance your opponent has to just sail around the outside of you.
Pearls of wisdom there from the reigning eSailGP champion. It's Michael O'Donovan, aka Deja Vu, finished second in that first race, just behind Farley, just ahead of MCES Pepito, the official French racing team, in third place. So those three looking like they've got a solid start in the first race, but consistency across all three regattas is key. Let's get the second race underway and find out how they do. So all 8 boats lining up again in that pre-start area. Leo, this is going to be one of the favourites, Khan Mazlumka. Difficult first race. He let it all hang out, but this one's going to be vitally important for him, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, Ed. Look, he was doing so well in that first race, and he kind of just bled the points away a little bit, and he finished at 5th. So, he really needs to get a good one here. But I don't want him to do anything silly. I don't want him to get any penalties or take too many breaks. I just want him to just sail his own race and see what happens then. Because once he gets a penalty, it's super hard for him to come back. And yes, this is going to be an all-important race. It's going to be all about the start.
Okay, full injuries. We've got 10 seconds, so let's see if they can line this one up. Oh! MCES Tangi 22-32, the only penalty there, I think. So he's dropped right back, but looking very good. That MCES team are the sanctioned eSailing team for the French SailGP team. So a lot of pride at stake there. And first marks taken out Khan Mazlumka already. He's on a penalty there, disaster. Deja Vu as well, sitting right at the back, but MCES Pepito leading very, very nicely. And that first mark.
Yes, Pepito with a great start yet again, and was first at the reach mark, and that makes things so much easier because when there's 4 or 5 boats stacked up onto the reach mark, you're going to see some penalties, and that's what we saw with Khan Mazlumka and Deja Vu. And as we see, all the boats tacked away straight from that left-hand turn to go to that right-hand side. But on your screen, top left, you can see the wind map for us, and you can see that there was a little bit more wind on that right-hand side. So that's why these players headed out to that right. And looks like it's all paying off now. MCES Pepito with a massive lead, 68 meters, and it's growing. So he'll be sitting very comfortably, and it'll be for the rest of the pack to see how many points they can claw back up.
It's going to be interesting. I think we might have a real mid-table traffic jam in the next leg or two, because you can see we've kind of got 156 meters for the under-21 French sailor MCES Tangi. And already he's pushing up a little bit, and then you've got VIT Farley and then GRE9 LDLM and Yoel Carlos, all very, very close there. At the moment, Khan Mazlumka cannot claw back anything. He's right at the back there. One of the favourites looks like he might be on his way out. And if you're wondering what that torchlight is behind each of the boats, that's the wind shadow that they're creating. Got a nice port starboard cross there, and we got a penalty on GRE9, LN.
Well, I mean, that was a classic port starboard. You know, you could almost argue that the rules actually Grease 9 had room to tack in there, but yeah, I guess he didn't give enough room, and the umpire saw that it was enough, so another penalty of Grease 9. There'll be a big loss for him. But as you can see, you can just see Ronstadt, Deja Vu, and Karma's Lunka just slowly trying to climb back up. But for the guys at the top 3 right now, it's an easy race. You know, they just follow the leader and get ahead. But as you said, before Ed, there is going to be a traffic jam here with these 4 boats coming into the bottom mark now. Deja Vu opts to take that right-hand turn, and another penalty for Grease 9. So he is slowly falling backwards now. He's throwing his toys out.
Joel Carlos was up past 53 knots at one stage there. I think he's got a speed record, at least definitely for San Francisco, if not a world record. Oh, very tight cross there. Deja Vu.
That was tight, and that's one of those risks you have to take to be getting up there in this race. And as you see that, he's climbed up the 3rd on that virtual leaderboard. And we're going to have a very tight tack here between Deja Vu and the MCS Tangi. He's going to have boundary rights, so he can tack whenever he wants when he's into this yellow line, and French boat has to tack and give him space. And there you see that they simultaneously tacked, and it's going to be another drag race, another boundary. So let's see if Deja Vu can keep his spot in the ley line, but that French boat is slowly squeezing him out, trying to sail a higher mode to be able to get the next tack in. And as you can see there, the French boat is slowly getting around him.
Pepito out in front is looking very, very happy with this at the moment. I feel like he's got this tucked away. He's got enough daylight between him and Carlos to really start to coast through this one. He hasn't got to take any unnecessary risks.
Oh, and as you see, UOL Carlos, I think he hit the top mark there and he picks up a penalty, but I think that he's got enough space that he can clear it, and he's not going to lose any spots. But it's a very silly error to be making on the last leg to finish, especially when you're coming second.
Okay, so Pepito, it is a lap of honour to come in first place, nearly 300 metres ahead of the Spaniard Carlos. And then we've got Deja Vu and MCS Tanguy battling it out in 3rd and 4th place, but it's Tanguy who takes it. Deja Vu in 4th with a 1st and a 4th. That's going to work very, very well. Mazlumka manages to fight back somehow into 6th. And we've got Prodigio and then Grease 9. Leo, what do you make of that one? It was a masterclass from Pepito.
Yeah, look, he had a great start, and he's certainly got it figured out. See, the thing about the reaching starts is, you know, you have an angle that's faster to the mark, but the start line may be set up differently, that you have to sail a different angle, and it's all about, you know, finding the space on the line where you can sail that fastest angle, especially in this game. You have to, if you sail the fastest angle, you're always going to get to the reach mark first, and getting to the reach mark first means that you're going to be clear of any penalties, clear of any other boats, and that's how you stay ahead. But for the middle of the pack, you end up 2, 3, 4 boats wide around the mark, and that's when it gets dangerous.
Karl Mazlumka he knew he was under pressure there. Do you think that pressure forced the error from him? Do you think he made a call that perhaps he didn't want to, or it was just too close?
Yeah, look, it's just like any sport. You fall a little bit behind the game, and you feel like you have to take a risk to get back on top of the game. And for him, he was probably in a tough situation, but he did what he had to do, and it just didn't pay out for him. So, and it might be hard for him to make this match race now, but I'd like to at least see him get some honor and take a race win.
Well, the one thing, if we take a look at the standings, that we know is that we've had real mixed tables in the first two races. I don't feel like anyone has solidly booked their place. Pepito, I think, was down in third in the first race, so he's got a first and a third, looking strong. But even Deja Vu, Michael O'Donovan, the reigning eSailGP champion, he's got a first and a fourth there. That doesn't guarantee him anything if he's down in the bottom half of the pack for this second race.
Yeah, that's correct. And so this race is going to be really tight, and he's going to see a few guys in the middle of the pack that have consistent results, like a third, looking to get one more up there. So this one's going to be really interesting to watch. It might even be the tightest qualifying we've seen yet. So let's see what happens.
Okay, Fleet Race 3. It's the third and final race before our winner takes all match final. Let's check it out. So 8 boats making their way into that pre-start area. You can see the countdown in the top left-hand side of the screen. That's what all of these players are working with. On Mazlumka, he's got a penalty on him there. No, he's knocked that one off. All 8 players, passionate sailors in their own right. They're translating that on to the Golden Gate Bridge there. We are in the bay in San Francisco with that legendary wind as they scream down to the start line now, looking for a spot in that final winner-takes-all match race. Everyone clean across the start line, no penalties there, and it's a very, very quick start. Coming into the first mark, neck and neck, Farley, Grease 9, and Prodigio. Very, very close. 3 penalties picked up there by Carlos Parejo, Deja Vu, and Grease 9. Khan Mazlumka up in the top 3, but it's Farley out in front, followed by Prodigio. And at the moment, Farley puts himself in a very strong position. He's joint second in the overall standings. We come around that first mark, and Khan Mazlumka, again, an unforced error, it felt like there, Leo.
Yeah, look, it didn't need to happen, and he just keeps making these silly errors that keep pushing him back. So it's really unfortunate. But you know, look, he's just racing for glory now. He doesn't quite have enough good enough races to make it to the final. But for him, it's just all about getting a good race and hopefully not changing the results of the guys that are trying to make it to the finals as well. But Farley having a real good race.
Prodigio picking up a penalty, as did Deja Vu. Both of those two sliding to the back of the pack now. And it's familiar territory, Leo. MCES Pepito, the sanctioned e-sailer for the French team, right up neck and neck with Farley up at the top there. Khan Mazlumka desperate to, as you said, have an influence on this race, even if he is down at the back of the standings.
Yeah, look, you can see the 2 French boats there, neck and neck for the second and third, which is an awesome result. And we see Farley, the British boat, ahead now. He's got a 100-meter lead, so he's going to be very comfortable. I guess what we're seeing right now, Ed, is as soon as a boat gets ahead and the rest of the middle pack just keeps fighting for positions, the front boat is just so easy. They can just get ahead and do whatever they want. So it's going to be a comfortable race for Farley, but it's all eyes on the middle pack.
Okay, so incredible concentration now. At the moment, we've got Deja Vu, the reigning world eSailGP champion, in 7th position. He's joint second in the overall standings. He needs to make his way up at least into the top 4 to secure his place in the match racing final. At the moment, it looks like it's nailed on for Farley and Pepito in 1st and 2nd place. Tanguy as well making a very strong claim. He's in joint 4th place at the moment on 12 points. So a solid result here could see the 2 Frenchmen making it into that match racing final. Pepito rounds the mark, as does Tanguy.
Yeah, I think what we're looking at here is, Ronstan Deja Vu trying to get a better result, trying to climb up the rankings, and MCS Tanguy trying to get trying to climb the ranking as much as he can so he can secure himself in the match race. But right now, I'd say it's all in Deja Vu's hands. It's up to him to see how much he can climb up the rankings. And as I say that now, in the virtual standings, he's already 4th. So.
Okay, well, we can see now Pepito in 2nd place here, just behind Farley. And at the moment, Deja Vu up into third position. It's a big, big move, pushing Tanguy down into fourth and almost certainly qualifying Deja Vu ahead of MCES Tanguy for that match race. Pepito in second, Farley in first. Farley, if he can continue this way, will book his place in the match racing final. Karmaz Lumka risked it all and it's cost him everything. He's down there in 8th position. Carlos Parejo in 7th, Grease 9 in 6th. Deja Vu slipped down to 5th behind Prodigio in 4th. MCES Tanguy in 3rd behind his teammate on the French eSailGP team, Pepito. Farley still out in front as we come in to this final downwinder. So the two French boats rounding. They're firing down there. Oh, and Deja Vu still in 5th position. He desperately needs to make some ground up here. Otherwise, that match racing final could slip through his fingers. You've been in this position out on the water, Leo. Just how much pressure are they under?
Yeah, it's a lot of pressure on the water, and especially if you know the points and how close you are and what you need to do, it makes it even more stressful. But you can kind of see what Deja Vu will be feeling right now. So let's hope that he's done enough.
Well, no, Farley goes through, Pepito goes through, Tanguy goes through. Then we've got Prodigio, another masterclass from Farley, start to finish, got out in front and held that lead. Pepito in 2nd and Tanguy in 3rd. Prodigio holds off Deja Vu to the finish. And while Prodigio won't feature in that match racing final, he has influenced the positions. So confirmation of the standings after that 3rd and final regatta. In 1st place, Pepito on 27. Just 1 point behind is Farley in 2nd place on 26. Deja Vu sneaks into the top 3 on 22, just ahead of Tanguy on 20 in 4th. Heartbreak for the young Frenchman. Prodigio is in 5th on 18. What do you make of that? You said it in there, Leo, that you get out in front, it seems like you can create a procession. You get that clean air and no one can touch you.
Yeah, it's correct. You get through the reach mark and everyone picks up those penalties. It's so easy for the person in front to stay ahead. You can make your own decisions whenever you want. You're not influenced by the boat in 2nd or 3rd because you're so far ahead and you have clean air. You can go whichever side of the course you want to go to. And life is plain old simple when you're at the front. But for the guys in the middle of the pack, they have to fight each other. They have to fight dirty wind. So people may tack on you. It's a lot harder and a lot more stressful.
Okay, let's start, I think, with Pepito. A very, very strong performance from you there, Pepito. In all 3 races, you look very comfortable.
Yeah, I just managed to take good start for maybe have a 3-1, but I lose the first race by mistake, and the last race I had a bad start with I think Deja Vu or Avuk, so I just tried to come back for secure the top 3.
Well, you've qualified in 1st place, so I'd say it was a successful regatta so far. Arthur Farley, for you, a brilliant 2nd race there. Like, you led from start to finish, looked very, very impressive.
Yeah, so I won the 1st race. The 2nd race was a bit wobbly for me, but the last one, I managed to pull through with a good start. All the other starts were pretty weak from me, actually. The 1st race, I don't really know how I won because I got a bad start, a pen at the 1st mark, and managed to claw back to win it. But the 1st race, I think, was the thing that qualified me, really, and got me into the mood of it. But yeah, it was a good regatta.
Okay, and Michael O'Donovan, reigning eSailGP champion, aka Deja Vu. You got in there by the skin of your teeth. I was doing the maths on the back of a napkin here, same. And I thought you'd actually missed out.
Yeah, so I was, have my pencil and pen out, totaling up beforehand. I knew I needed to be close to Tanguy and Carlos. I didn't need to beat them. I suppose the 1st race was a big one for me, and then the comeback in the 2nd race after a pretty poor start. I think, as Farley was saying about the first race with his comeback, so much of this fleet is like the standards are so close. There's not much in it, and so people end up tripping over each other a lot. You know, lots of like ducks because you're just not crossing, and so it's quite. There's a lot of opportunity to come back into it when it's so close. But yeah, it's about being at that like front of the pack right at the end as opposed to 2 marks from the end. So yeah.
Okay, well, at stake now, you've got one race between you and a trip to a SailGP regatta, a money can't buy on water experience at SailGP, 2 hospitality passes to the Adrenaline Lounge, and this will qualify you for the eSailing World Championships. Gentlemen, the best of luck to all 3 of you. It's time to get this match racing final underway.
Yeah, I was going to say actually, because I still haven't actually taken my prize from last year when it comes to the trip to San Fran or another location. So I was just going to say going in, when it comes to the trip and the money can't buy experience, etc., I was going to give that to, if I did win, which who knows, probably not, but I was going to give that to anyone else who came behind. But yeah, because I've already got it planned in for March.
Gentlemen, good luck. Enjoy yourselves. Just before we get stuck into our winner takes all match racing final, we're going to let the guys settle down and we'll give you a taste of the real thing. These are some of the most epic moments from the last regatta in Cadiz. Check them out.
They've stuffed it. This could be over. Capsize coming.
Capsizing an F50 is not something that's on most people's bucket list. Now, though, the wait is over. It's time for the grand final of eSailGP. 6 qualifying rounds, 3 regatta races, and we have whittled it down to the 3 best players in the world right now. It's time to get the winner-takes-all match race underway. There is a money can't buy SailGP experience visiting one of the regattas and getting out on the water. Plus, there's a qualifying spot for the eSailing World Championships. Let's get this race underway. So the 3 boats in that pre-start box. We've got Deja Vu, VIT Farley, and the official French eSailGP team, helmed by Pepito. In case you're wondering, there's no wing trimming, there's no flight controller. The skippers are in charge just of the steering the boat and the strategy, which is one of the main areas. You can see Pepito just hanging out on the boundary here, just knocking around and getting close to the 10-second mark. And at the moment, Deja Vu sat right on top of Pepito, and Farley sitting right on top of Deja Vu now. And over we go with Deja Vu in first position, just ahead of Farley and Pepito. Upwind advantage belongs to Deja Vu at the moment, and he's just starting to close the door in front of Farley as they come around the first mark. Pepito, very, very sharp. We're looking from the back of the pack here with Pepito. Farley out wide, and not much at all, just 44 meters and change between first and third position, as Deja Vu leads into this upwind mark, and it's down to the bottom. Oh, and it's a penalty for Deja Vu. Did he clip the mark there, Leo?
Yeah, he did, I think. Or I think he tacked actually too early around the bottom mark, and Farley was on starboard. But that's going to be so costly after such a good start. He nailed that start to perfection, and he was around the reach mark in first, and all he had to do was stay clean, but he just had to tack there. And it looks like Pepito with the advantage now.
Yeah, certainly the graphics saying that Farley's out in front, but it looks like Pepito potentially has just got a couple of meters there. So blasting their way down. A little bit of wind shadow there as Pepito cuts across. Farley now looking very, very comfortable, but the boat speed of the Frenchman as he ducks underneath Farley. He's looking for a way out, but he's found wind shadow behind the Brit. Deja Vu sat at the back of the pack now, really, really struggling to make his presence felt.
Deja Vu just trying to stay in it now. Look, he just had to stay close and wait for an opportunity for the rest of the teams to screw up. So right now it's Farley in the lead. Pepito with a big move there, trying to get low, but all he got was wind shadow. And right now it's going to be Farley in first. Deja Vu sneaking back into second now. So Pepito in third is going to be very tight on his next two legs. Just going to be waiting for an opportunity for Farley to make a mistake, but as we've seen in the last three races, he doesn't make much mistakes. So let's see what the two guys in second and third can do to climb these rankings.
Okay, you can see the distance there between first and second, 116 meters between Farley and Deja Vu. Pepito taking the right-hand side of the course on this downwind leg. They're cracking up to 45 knots there. Farley really, really pasting his way down to the bottom of the course. And Deja Vu holding off Pepito there. Now, Deja Vu opting for the opposite mark to Farley, which is going to take him up this right-hand side of the course, but he's doubled right back on himself. He hasn't used that section. Has he seen some wind, or is he looking for a port starboard cross on Farley? Looks like he's going to slot just behind him there. But he's got a good, strong first leg there.
Exactly.
Sorry, Leo, go ahead.
Deja Vu got something that a second place boat would always want. He got a split with the boat in first. He was able to go to a different side of the course and be out of sync with the boat. And now it looks like Ron San Deja Vu's got some breeze on that left-hand side of the course. Let's see if it amounts to anything. But if we look at our virtual leaderboard, it doesn't look very good for Deja Vu right now. Farley's looking very comfortable, but let's see this cross now.
Yeah, he's tucking behind both of them, isn't he? He's got nothing on either of them. As he comes round and tucks in underneath into the wind shadow of Pepito. It's going to be a painful leg, this one, for Deja Vu, as Farley starts to extend that lead. 70 meters now as he comes up to this upwind mark. Really nice shot there. Gliding away, back downwind. Deja Vu clipping that mark, trying to get anything he can, splitting the course as well. He knows that he doesn't want to be stuck in a straight drag race downwind on the same side of the course as both Farley and Pepito. Here we go, Farley rounds. You can see those two golden columns are the finish line. And it looks like Farley is in the driver's seat here as he crosses the finish line in the first ever San Francisco Grand National. A fantastic race for Arthur Farley, VIT Farley, followed by the official French SailGP team in esports, MCES Pepito, and the reigning champion until just a few moments ago, Deja Vu, comes in third position. A fantastic performance, start to finish, from VIT Farley. MCES Pepito looking very, very strong, but he couldn't make it count in that final race, and a couple of mistakes cost dear for Michael O'Donovan, aka Ronstan Deja Vu. So Deja Vu with the best start there. Best average speed, predictably, was Farley though. Great top speed from Pepito. But yeah, maximum wind speed 29.7, which sounds About right for San Francisco, one of the windiest venues that SailGP visits. So, largest number of jibes was MCS Pepito, and generally you can say that the larger amount of maneuvers means a slower speed over the course. And second place, if that is true, wasn't a bad performance for Pepito there. Wow, what a race, Leo. Plenty of drama.
Plenty of drama there, and Deja Vu nailed that start. Like I said before, he nailed that start. He couldn't have done it any better, and he was first to the reach mark and just made the key error at the bottom mark, and that was race over from there for him. And that's where Farley made that jump, and you could say that was all over from there. But what a crucial mistake, and that was the World Championship right there. The eSailGP World Championship was decided at that crucial moment.
A question for you then. It didn't feel like Pepito made any mistakes. So what did Farley do so well?
Well, I think he was just in the right place at the right time at the bottom mark. He nailed that tack, and he got that first wind shift on that right-hand side. Pepito was in a good spot as well, but when they made the tack on the boundary on that right-hand side, he just wasn't in a good space, and he had to, on starboard tack, they were going all the way to the next boundary. Pepito just had to live in the wind shadow for so long, and that was really costly.
And as we've seen so many times with VIT Farley in the regatta races, if you give him the lead, there is no way he's giving it up. He proved that he can be dominant from that position.
Yeah, exactly. And I haven't seen him made a mistake yet in all the qualifiers and today as well. So he's very solid when he's in the lead, and he's very solid when he's behind the pack as well. He can slowly move his way back up to a good result. So, very strong player, and wow, worthy of being the eSailGP World Champion.
Arthur, dream day of racing for you.
Yeah, it was good. Super tough. I didn't really know how to approach that last race with 3 boats, but kind of had a small strategy. I wanted to win the bottom of the line. Didn't win it. Let Mike win the bottom of the line, but yeah, I kind of just kept in it. At the bottom mark was the key for me, the first gate. I just managed to get an overlap going into the mark, and it allowed me, when he tacked, to give him a penalty because he did a tack in my water. And yeah, from there it was close and I had to focus, but I kind of knew as soon as I made that penalty that I'd won the race. I just had to make all the right choices from there.
It felt like you've been in that position so many times through the regattas today, and you just don't look like you feel that pressure. No,
I kind of went into this final thinking if I come anything but last, I'm happy. So I didn't really have any pressure, no expectation, just considered myself to come last. And if I do anything but that, then it's fine. So yeah, I went into racing today, no pressure, no nothing, just do what I have to do. And if I win, I win. If I don't, I don't. So, but yeah. And
you sail in real life, yeah?
Yeah, I do. Yeah. Yeah, I do. I sail.
What class above?
Ilka 7, full rig. I sail nationally and internationally. Yeah. I just came back from Bulgaria actually about 5 days ago from the Senior Europeans. So yeah.
How'd you do?
Oh, tough. Food poisoning and a virus during the event meant that it was a bit tough for me, but yeah, it was a good experience and I learned a lot. So
you've managed to win that money can't buy experience out on the water. You'll get the 2 passes for the Adrenaline VIP Lounge and get to visit a SailGP regatta in real life. Plus, I imagine quite excitingly for you, you've managed to qualify for the eSailing World Championships.
Yeah, so it's a weird one because I believe this has qualified Deja Vu for the grand final, and I already qualified. So there's a few places. There was the playoffs before this, which is like a way to qualify for the Sailing World Championships and the world rankings. And because I was ranked #1 in the world for the 2021 season, I managed to qualify. So I believe, and congrats to Mike, that he's qualified for the World Championships through this regatta. But yeah, no, in terms of the World Championships, I'm really looking forward to it. And yeah, anything but last, I'll be happy again. No pressure. even though 10K is on the line. There's no pressure. Well, a little bit, but not too much.
Well, and there's the kudos of doing the double as well. If you're eSailGP champion and eSailing world champion.
Yeah. No, I managed to do both. Well, I got the world rankings, and really the final one would be to win the worlds. And yeah, that's kind of my goal. And then as soon as I've done that, I need to stop playing the game. Played too much this year. I need to take a break. But yeah, no, I would like to win, and 10K would go a long way for me. And yeah, that would be really great for my own sailing. So,
well, congratulations, Arthur. It was a pleasure watching you race. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, no shortage of drama in the grand final there, as we've become accustomed on both SailGP and eSailGP. Leo, you had high hopes for the grand final. Did it live up to them?
Absolutely. It was a great race, full of lead changes. That start was really intense. Deja Vu controlled the race from the very beginning, and he had a very good lead, but he just threw it all away at the bottom mark, which was very sad to see. But no, look, it was really good to see Farley take the win there and become the new eSailGP world champion. And yeah, look, I'm excited for the more racing to come. It was epic.
Okay, if you're interested in watching more racing, you can see Farley in action representing eSailGP and the eSailing World Championships on November the 6th. If you want to get into the games, then you can. It's really easy. Go to Google Play or the App Store and just search out Virtual Regatta Inshore, and you'll find the game there. You can also follow SailGP on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram, and you'll get all of the sailing and eSailing updates. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you next time on the eSailGP Championship.